Hello, everyone. How we all doing? Welcome to the Free Enterprise channel, and tonight's tiebreaker race between ScytheMarshall and Arusta. I am Game Boy F9, and I am joined today by Neon Gray. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. Nice day. And great race. I believe this is a tiebreaker going on for between these two, which is always exciting because, ties are so good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, and Narabari, our restreamer, has written in chat, this is a third place tiebreaker. The winner will continue to a play-in race against the runner-up of Kyrios and Moonblaze Wolf, which took place earlier this afternoon. We're not going to reveal who won that, just so we don't spoil it for all of you, but that is what's going to happen there. We had 99 runners to start our tournament. We're now at the end of the round robin. We went down to 54. By the end of this week, we'll be down to 32.
Yeah, it's... some people gotta win, some people don't. That was really insightful.
well, some people will say that they had a great time. That's how I see it.
Yes, yeah, and that's the thing. Win or lose, we're all having a great time here. I hope.
Yeah, exactly. And so Arusta and ScytheMarshall, because it was a round robin, they did compete earlier in the tournament. Arusta did win round one by 3 minutes and 41 seconds, which means we're going to have a really good race here tonight. It will be difficult to win against the same person twice in a row. But I can tell you from my days of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, I lost twice in a row to the eventual champion of the very first tournament back in the day. But, well, enough of that, huh?
Hey, I'm very good at losing to the same person twice in a row, so it can absolutely be done.
Fair enough, and I believe, according to my watch here, we are 13 seconds away from live racing here on Free Enterprise. So we wish our runners the best of luck, and I believe we're gonna get started in. Well, I guess I was a little bit off, but we're about to fade to black in just a second.
Yes, and ScytheMarshall running a lovely Disney princess's name scheme on everybody because, there's a bit of a princess inside all of us. And we're starting off with Palom and Tello with a magma key. Got that Kainatsu at the start. Nasty boss potentially in an easy spot. Always great to see. Nicer to see that than to see this party, really.
Yeah, I mean, the only advantage I can see, like, if you get an early darkness crystal, is, you can pretty quickly go to the Giant of Babel and get a nice little grind going there with those D machines. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But first, we already see some divergence. We're going to the underground cave for Arusta. For ScytheMarshall, gonna pick up the free item straight away.
Yeah, love seeing the variants right off. An early loot loop can really make a huge bit of difference throughout your seed, and that is a pink tail from Eddie.
Whoa. Okay. Well, we still have to get the hovercraft, and we got to get the hook. So it's not a big, it's not huge yet, but once that happens, then it will become huge. Got a good chance we're going to see an adamant armor real soon.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you cannot get a pink tail. You cannot cash in a pink tail with a magma key.
No. So I think we should change the rules. So let's talk to Boardface about changing the rules. What do you think?
Yeah, we can use the magma key to solidify the water that leads up to the cave with a pink tail and just walk over. Sorcerer Robe there is a great find. I think we're just gonna do a full clear of the watery pass. Take advantage of the fact that Tella starts with exit, and just get everything out of here. Oh, we are stopping right here, and not taking the last screed.
Yeah, totally understandable there. ScytheMarshall with a, I like this play he pulled off. He sold a silver apple. I mean, normally when I think about it, you're just like, oh, give me those free 50 extra hit points. But no, I'm gonna sell this for 20,000 gold or Jill and be happy. And that's great for early weapons.
Yeah, you can buy a lot off the strength of an apple, and from here, ScytheMarshall is now taking his early loot by going to Eblan, and these checks have a lot of the time just really defined a lot of these seeds. Going here and just getting a kit out of that. But Arusta, instead, seems satisfied with what he got out of the Watery Pass, and is now on his way to make a first check through the Antline Cave.
Yeah, and I noticed a white shirt over in Eblan Castle for ScytheMarshall, and I imagine he's going to be picking that up again while avoiding the monster box that he found, if I had to take a guess, but... Oh, no, so far he's skipping it. No, yeah, he's going to go back and pick that up. Absolutely. Yeah. Liking this play, equipping the Sorcerer shirt and the Gaia helmet. That's already a nice boost to magical powers there, so should be a very good chance that he will win at the Antline spot in one moment's time.
Yeah, we should be able to get through this. We don't have a lot of stopping power, but we've picked up enough stuff that we'll be able to get through the 1,000 hit points that this spot has, and we'll just be fine here.
We notice a defense sword over in ScytheMarshall's side, over in Eblan Castle, and another monster chest, so we're going to reset there, so he might be hoping for a Cecil before too long.
Yeah, using that firebomb with Palab is probably not going to do what we need, because it is hit point based. But the Thor Rage should be able to finish that. Yeah.
All right, so that's Arusta 1 boss, and ScytheMarshall yet to defeat a boss, but obviously we're only 5 minutes into this, so plenty of time there.
Yeah, we just get the spoon from Antlion. That's a nice to have. Does mean that Edward is a more likely pick if we run into him. And Arusta is now heading over to Troya to check out the shops and get his prize from Eddie.
I wonder if... oh, he doesn't have a gold apple. It was a gold apple, not a silver apple, so excuse me on that, but definitely selling a heck of a lot of flame whips and getting the money there, so very good to go on that regard. I believe ScytheMarshall's already drawn all the monster boxes, so I saw a lunar staff, which was a nice pickup there.
Yeah, Arusta buying a mute knife, which is also just fantastic item to have.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
are some...
Yeah, excuse me, absolutely, with the intelligence boost that is gained with that mute knife, so, and also nice little attack boost if required.
Yeah, there are a fair few mage type enemies that we will need or want to fight throughout the game, and that is, that is absolutely handy for that.
ScytheMarshall throwing down the magma key, and I'm guessing his next play will be to go underground, possibly to oh, what's that town down there? I forget what it's called. The one where you figure out what job that dwarf has.
Oh, Tamra.
Thank you. Yeah, we're still just doing a lot of treasure hunting right now.
Yeah, this is really your early ramp part of the seed. You're just shoring up your strength and getting ready to take on everything else that is in the game. This will be our first look at Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, I noticed ScytheMarshall picking up a white spear. I imagine that also was in Eblan Castle, and my goodness, it is loaded with a lot of good stuff here. So,
Yeah.
And we have Rydia over at Mount Hobbs. Didn't I see a Shura available? I don't know if it was in a treasure box. Oh, Bahamut. Oh,
Yes.
I love this. 30 seconds to pull off as much damage as you can, and gonna just put up a Star Veil.
Yeah, don't really care about the others living. Pala will just hoover up all the XP here. Hourglasses for sale in Tamra.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an excellent find. And ScytheMarshall, I don't know if he picked any up. I was watching the Bahamut fight here, but if he didn't, he'll probably write down where that hourglass was, so he can pick them up if required.
Yeah, I believe he grabbed a few.
I anticipate ScytheMarshall diving down the Feymarsh cave. Gonna hit the reset button on that trap chest there, but I anticipate he's gonna pick up that free item and see what the bosses are, and then head on out.
Yeah, that's pretty likely there. Now Arusta is about to pop that magma key, following Scythe underground.
Yeah, we're still just doing a little bit of treasure hunting here in ScytheMarshall, knowing that knowing where that that one trap treasure is, he gets to open all the other treasures. So without fear of losing, a life staff picked up. Wow, and a Gunyer spear while we're at it.
Oh, boomerang. That's nice if we find an edge. That'll back row glitch him. Because this week right now is, of course, going to be the last hurrah of the back row glitch in the Adamant Cup, because as we move on to brackets, that back row glitch, where once a person has activated the ability to attack freely from the back row, that's going away in the next phase of this tournament.
Yep, and there'll be other things that'll be going away as well. We noticed that the rat tail was at the Feymarsh town, and if anybody wants to ask if this game is randomized, the answer is yes, it is. It just wound up there.
Yes, but I would like some vanilla ice cream. Thank you very much.
I regret to tell you that I don't have any in the freezer right now. So I apologize for that.
Oh, I do have some Earl Grey ice cream.
Earl Grey ice cream? Huh, interesting.
Yes, it's very tasty. Don't like that. Don't like those bosses there at all. The karate guy is fine, especially if we find a Cecil. But, not something I want to deal with right now. And that is elements there.
Yeah, the Elemental Lord's gauntlet there. So I imagine that's why he went ahead and started that fight, just so he knows what he's dealing with, so he knows what's in the pool and what isn't.
Yeah.
But that's another. You were mentioning Cecil. That's another thing that's going away at the end of this week. No Cecils starting at the bracket phase, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
That is correct. Both Fusoya and Cecil are at the end of this phase of the tournament. They are going to go. They're going to put on their own hats. Something that reads like, free enter players want me. Zero fears me, and go on a fishing trip.
Absolutely, and ScytheMarshall going down the Sylph Cave, going to pay Yang a visit. Doesn't have the pan yet, excuse me, but that will trigger a flag that will reward him with a potential key item from Yang's wife, and I imagine he'll be going there quite shortly.
Yeah, that nicely consolidates your Fabul trips. Scythe, yeah, coming back up, gonna go pick up his Rydia or leave her, whichever he decides there.
Yeah, and it's okay if you pick her up or don't pick her up or what have you. I mean, even if you do pick her up, you can dismiss her later on if you go over the 4-character limit. We have played in tournaments in the past where once you take a character, it's there permanently. So, but that risk is not here in this tournament.
Yeah, we can freely swap our party members around, with the only cost being the time you spend going up into the Tower of Wishes, which honestly, not all that long. We've seen some very good tactical swaps later on. And yeah, Scythe opting against the Rydia.
Yep. Discovered that Bahamut was the boss there.
Oh, what's this? Are we going to... Oh, we pulled a Zeus gauntlet out of that Chocobo forest. Very nice.
Oh, I really like this play by Arusta. Does he have coffins?
Yes, he's got exactly one coffin. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. 34,000 experience points and a lot of levels.
Yeah, one egg will always get Palom Quake. That gets you online. That just will clear so much of the early game for you. Oh, yeah. The Siren was found in that waterfall cave, so Scythe will not have access to that particular Siren yet. That doesn't mean it's not for sale somewhere.
Yeah, I believe the Sirens were found in the town of the summoned monsters, the FF4FE the land of the FF4FE. So I think that'll be fine there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they are for sale in FF4FE, but nothing quite like cracking a free Siren out. Oh yeah, we've got more Sirens. Another stack there.
Kind of an unfortunate result over in Scythe's side. Just a power shirt over for Yang's wife. Arusta now picking up, triggering that flag. Electing to go to Baron though, so we'll see what happens there. Scythe is going to begin the Fabul Gauntlet.
Yeah, I like that power shirt this early, but this party cannot really take advantage of it yet. Oh, it's a sparkle. Not the party you really want to take against an Ogopogo.
Yeah, and oh wow, look what's look on Arusta's side. It's Edge.
It's Edge, and we have Quake. We can easily take this spot.
Gonna try equipping samurai arrows and an archer bow. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, that's a nice shot. Looking good, looking good, looking good.
Yeah, that's pretty doable, I think, for ScytheMarshall there. You want the good rolls though, the 350 ones, not the 90 ones. Oh, some nice inventory management on Arusta's side while the animations play out. Oh, it's blue. Blue. Oh, it's just a water hag.
Well, this results in an Edge pickup pretty easily. Just 2 more hits and Edge will be his.
Yeah, that's quite free for Baronin, and we picked up a boomerang. There was a Murasame from the Watery Pass as well, so that Edge will be he will be wrecking things.
Absolutely, and successful fight over in Skyside with that archer bow equip and the samurai arrow equip really worked out there. And oh, hello, darkness crystal.
That's much better than the apparently haunted Fabul. Power shirt and a diamond armor from there. Right. Of course, that power shirt would look fantastic on an Edge.
Well, let's take a look at our objectives. There is nothing involving the giant in our objectives, but will Arusta go there anyway?
I don't think so. Oh, he'll go to the moon, but not to the giant, I don't think. Like, there have been a few cases where people have done D-machines in this tournament, but really, it's not, this is a flag set where you're going to get so many levels.
Our Bari in chat and our restreamer making a good point. Ordeals does need to be done first, so that is definitely true there.
Here's another nice trick, doing a stop on the egg to prevent it from hatching, but the timing is not great, so the Assassin Dagger did not proc. So we're just going to keep it stopped and then just cast it down. Oh, a Dwarf Axe there? That is very nice to see. Also, that is the one item in the game that will back row glitch Kane. Unless you're doing weird steel tricks with Edge.
Yeah, this was well played here by Scythe, knocking out that egg for 34,000 experience points, and that will be his Quake spell.
Yes, get that kid online, ready to go. Yeah, the one egg is the only one you need right now.
Arusta electing to go to the moon, totally understandable. There's a character that's hanging out on the moon, and I imagine we're going to find out who that character is in just a moment.
Yes, gonna visit the Hummingways first, though. love to check in on these guys. They're so nice. But, nothing really interesting for sale here. There is a Leviathan, but we do not opt to pick that up.
I don't know, I'm a fan of Warping Way personally. Warping Way is found in another Final Fantasy IV randomizer that we don't need to talk about right now because we got a character we have a character over on Arusta's side, and we have a quite destroying the first part of the Baron duo there. Rosa is the character on Arusta's side, and I imagine she's, well, actually she must stay around because, or she must join the party because they're, excuse me, I stand corrected. Rydia is being dismissed.
Yeah.
I was looking at Sky's side. I only has 2 characters.
Yes, because Scythe did pass on the Rydia, so the edge here will be his first. And, but the Rosa is a very nice pickup. We've got some good archery tools, some good casting tools. No matter whether she's a green DPS or just a healer, this Rosa will do quite well here.
So according to the stats I have right now, it is... Actually, you know what? My stats are just totally wrong. So never mind my stats. I was gonna say, I believe our runners have defeated every single boss so far except for the instant resets, but yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, so this is gonna be our first peep at ordeals. And what boss is waiting for us here? Oh, that boomerang's gotta go the right hand to glitch him.
Yeah, I believe both of our runners are back row glitching edge as we speak, so...
Yeah, but that edge on Arusta's side is not back row glitched, because the boomerang went into his left hand. And for the ambidextrous characters, the back row glitching item has to go into your right hand. And that's really just edge alone, because Yang, the other ambidextrous character, can't equip anything that will do it.
Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna have 2 Baigan fights at the same time.
Oh boy, everybody's favorite boss in stereo. But the Quake will do quick work here.
Yeah,
Or
Quake,
Virus, okay.
Or the Virus, yeah. Well, all that's left now are 2 arms. And there goes, well, yeah. Scythe taking care of that issue a little bit quicker than Arusta. Back attack, this time Dark Imps, which should be, looks like this will be a very rudimentary fight here.
Yeah, similarly, Quake will just sweep this. That does mean that is another free boss in a very easy spot. And we do have 1 lunar objective, so we are going to have to fight at least 1 boss on the moon. With all these free bosses going away, this could be interesting.
Well, you know the viewers, they want to see hard bosses and all the hard spots, so that's always yep.
It's true. That's it's so exciting. Just a protect ring up here. There's a lot of dead spots at the K-main locations. Like the Sheila one, the Fabul, now Mount Ordeals.
Yep, absolutely, and pretty quick fight there. Still gonna go through it, so Tella learns all the spells.
Yes, and it does prime us to pick up a Cecil if we encounter him.
So Scythe took care of Mount Ordeals quite a bit faster than Arusta, but yeah, Arusta still has that one spoon lead, but that's just a quick trip down Antlion Cave.
Yeah. And I think that really shows. Like the only significant difference in the way they both handled ordeals was Scythe quaked the Baigon, whereas Arusta did the virus and only took out the middle, leaving the arms to very slowly explode.
So now Scythe will be taking care of that Antlion Cave spot pretty quickly, I wager.
Yeah, it's just the dolls down here. These will get swept out, you know, be it by a flame from Edge or yet another quake. Someone's gonna get rid of everything here. But it does leave us.
So I guess our next interest is where Arusta is going to go, and then soon we'll probably see where Scythe's going to go.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of options yet. Oh, yeah, Arusta's not yet been to Fabul at all, so he will clear out his haunted castle. Come away with absolutely nothing of use. Well, a power shard.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a quick spell to knock out Ogopogo over on his side. Oh, picking up Star Veils, always a good idea because Wyvern is still on the loose.
Yeah, and of course any number of other bosses too, where it's quite handy to just have a reflect in your pocket.
So now Scythe will be going to the moon shortly and picking up Rosa, and I believe we're going to start seeing some... I believe our paths are going to converge at this point.
Yeah, we pretty much eliminated a lot of... basically like all of the free checks here. What can our runners really do next?
I can only imagine that it's going to the dwarf castle and completing that.
Yeah, you've got Dwarf or Keyless Tower that's open right now. Of course in the Moon Ultras, but I don't think we're ready for that yet.
We can take on the FF4FE bosses, but those will be a challenge as well.
Yeah, don't think we've really got the stopping power yet there, so yeah, I think our next pick is probably gonna be Dwarf.
Yeah, because we don't have a Baron Key, we don't have an Earth Crystal, but an Earth Crystal is required for this particular flag step because we do have to complete the Tower of Zot, but we don't have that yet, so yeah, not a lot of options right now.
Yeah, I think we've actually taken out, yeah, we don't have any key items that unlock any checks that we can actually get to. If we had a hook, we could check the rat tail and also clear out our pink tail. But we don't have a hook. And that hook is so required. We gotta launch the Falcon, we gotta trade away the rat tail. Just so much that is gonna need that hook.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna be checking that out in just a moment. Uh, Protect ring. That sounds like a good idea. Yep. And ScytheMarshall is going to. Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, he's probably gonna open those 3 boxes over at Cave Bahamut and gonna at least see what the boss is at that spot. Because it could be like a free boss and it might give him progression. So I totally can understand this play.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt to check. There is a time goes into it, but you know, you're here. Might as well see what you've got to deal with right now.
Arusta has found a Soma drop. Will Tella get 10 extra magic points?
Apparently not.
Not yet anyway. He hasn't used the Soma drop yet, but has a tiara pickup for Rosa. Rosa is going to have some nice equipment there. And our our boss is...
That is a purple robe, so that will be our other Mylon, Mylon Z. Not really something I want to see, but we're going to take these hourglasses that we've picked up, and we're going to get a load of XP from these dragons.
Oh, wow, this brilliant play. Absolute brilliant play. I really like this play. That's gonna... Yeah. Antlion over at Arusta's side. Ouch.
Yeah, that's not very nice. Antlion is not on the moon. He's on vacation in Dwarf.
Gonna use that ninja star to nope, not quite enough for Antlion.
Yeah, should just be a little bit more though. This spot does have a fair few hit points just because it is the original Calbreda spot. So there's, you know, you've got the hit points of all the individual dolls and the big doll all here in one angry bug.
Alright, Antlion is down. Well done there.
ScytheMarshall takes another pair of dragons.
Yeah, and when you consider that when you have like 700,000 or 800,000 experience total, and you're pretty much good to go to defeat. Oh, hello.
Oh, it's your I'm seeing double. 4 Cecils.
Ooh, very good. Oh yeah, this is Paladin Cecil versus Dark Knight Cecil, and I would use a cure 2 or oh no, I think he's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yep, down to 56 hit points, but he's totally fine.
Yeah, not quite the way you want that to go. There's so much experience points here, but we're through, and we'll finally get to see if we get a key item.
Yeah, meanwhile, Scythe has picked up 180,000 experience points, which already's vaulted him up to the mid-30s.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder if he's gonna knock off that Murasabe altar now that he's got that XP. Because you could take that now. He's thinking about it. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, see if it works out. There's still a lot of experience to be picked up here.
Yeah, and the thing too is, if this works out, that is a package. Does not provide progression, but it does provide an objective.
Yep, absolutely. So, Dwarf Castle is required. Maybe not what he was looking for, but I think he'll take it.
Yeah, we're just gonna cash that out right now, looks like. Or no.
Now, this is something you gotta be a little careful about in that I've been in situations where it's like, oh, I remember that this location is here, or I remember that I picked this item up, and then I totally forget, and then it doesn't happen until many minutes later than it should have been, and then you wind up in trouble. But we'll see how this goes here.
Yeah, looks like we are going back to the moon.
Just a reminder,
Oh, no.
this is a tiebreaker race for third place in the group. So the winner will be in a play-in race against the runner-up of Curios and Moonblaze Wolf that happened yesterday, or excuse me, earlier this afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time. And the runner-up of this race will be out of the tournament.
Yeah, so this is a very high stakes race here. Mom Bomb at our required Murasame altar. Kind of ugly, but we're zerking up that edge, and we're just gonna cast as hard as we can. The hits are going to... They are gonna hurt, but we've got blink spells. We can get through this. Arusta changing his mind on the moon subject, and we're gonna pull Trap Chest, looks like.
Yeah, and there can be a positive to opening up Trap Chests. Hello Leviathan spell. But Arusta... Oh, did Arusta dismiss Rydia?
Yeah, yeah, he swapped out Rydia for Rosa. I like these chests here in Babil. You're not as likely to get like adamant armor out of them as you would in Eblan, but the way the tiering works out on this, you're pretty likely to get acceptable weapons out of it. And it is of course possible to draw an Excel or a silver sword or a crystal sword. But, generally you're gonna get decent weapons out of these things.
Mom Bomb has reached the potential explode and gets through without the explosion for 25,000 experience points, which isn't a lot because that's how the experience distribution works in this game. But how about a Twin Harp?
Heck yeah. And that is our first objective, completed by any of our runners, at 40 minutes. ScytheMarshall gets that vanilla Murasame out of the way.
Yep, absolutely. And you will see in our brand new tracker that was released just earlier this month, we got this brand new tracker that lists out 7 objectives that in this case, we have to complete all 7 of these objectives, and they are behind key items. When you complete those 7 objectives, you will pick up a crystal, and then you will be able to take on Zeromus either via a shortcut through Troya, or go through the Lunar Subterrane the traditional way, and then you face Zeromus or his substitute, and you will be defeating him. And the first runner to do that will win the race and will play again.
Yep. And Scythe is not interested in making any other moon checks. Gonna take that Twin Harp and be the hero of the people. Because the Twin Harp, of course, has one of our favorite things to randomize in it. That's going to be the song that Edward plays to neutralize the Dark Elf.
Yes, and it also gives our opportunity over in chat. Somebody's going to win 100,000 Jill in just a moment. We'll see who gets to name Edward's tune first. We're continuing to see trap treasure fights over on Arusta's side. Gonna try to pick up some really good items here.
Yeah, seems to be struggling a little on these alerts, but we are getting through them, so.
Yeah.
I think I saw a Thunderclaw for that edge somewhere. That would really expedite the fight, but yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, you do get a little extra experience with those monsters that get summoned there. But just a Charm Rod for that fight, so not all that great, I don't think.
But Rosa did learn Berserk, which is the real prize.
Yeah, that's a good spell to learn. All right, folks, the time has come. We're gonna find out who wins the Jill right now for 100,000 Jill. Name that too. Everybody really liked that song, Megalomania from Live Alive, and Lord Bobry was the first one to get that correct, at least in the chat that I see here. So Lord Bobry wins 100,000 Jill, and
sadly, that does not convert to real cash.
Yeah, I know that kind of stinks that way, but yeah, you know, we can. This person could still discuss what they're gonna do with the 100,000 Jill there.
Yeah, I'm sure you can give that a good home. Remember, kids, they are doing a remake of Live Alive. It is coming out. You'll finally get to play it in an official English release.
The key item there was the Adamant, so the Twin Harp, it was required in the end. Meanwhile, at the top of Lower Babel, it's Volvalis.
This spot is fine for her. Normally she can be a very tricky boss, especially without Kane. But this spot is kind of pathetic, and its patheticness will translate over to her, so nothing to worry about here.
Meanwhile, ScytheMarshall is going to work on the dwarf castle fights.
I say nothing to worry about, but she does still get a fair bit of evasion here, but the spells will work.
Yep, they sure will. It will take a while to dismiss Valvalis here, and this is one of those annoying. Oh no, Arusta has to take a reset.
Yeah, we're just gonna, I think. Oh, we're gonna do the swag rocks. It's time. We're gonna meteor her to death.
All right. Except one Meteo isn't going to take care of this matter.
Yeah, there's so many hit points there. And we're also going back down. So I guess we're not going to meteor her to death, but eventually we're going to come back and meteor her.
Yeah, I imagine Scythe is going to take care of Valvalis quite quickly. Whoa. Had to dismiss Palom there.
Yeah, looks like both of our runners opted to ditch Palom for Cecil, which is generally a pretty good trade. Palom is a fantastic early game character. He'll wipe the floor with a lot of stuff. But with that Val there, you kind of want her to come. You kind of want that Palom back. Oh, we're stopping here. Oh, just dropping a save. Okay.
Yeah, and as I was thinking about it, Tella is the agility anchor here, so with the he's got just the right agility to make the Zeromus fight a little bit easier to handle.
Yeah, it looks like Arusta's gonna go deal with that Murasabe altar next. Well, Scythe gets that package.
Now remember, both of our contestants have yet to use the package and burn up the village mist, which really isn't nice, but unfortunately we have to do it because the randomizer says we have to do it.
Yeah. Scythe is buying a pack of drain spears, which are a great throwing weapon. That would be another good way to deal with that Valvalis on the top of Babil. I also grabbed a ninja sword that was for sale there. Or two of them, because Scythe did not get that Murasame from the Watery Pass.
Oh my goodness, Arusta has to reset again. Mom Bomb was going quite quickly there in that spot.
Yeah,
going back to the underground.
You know, and then heading back up. Probably should have made another save on the moon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that, and ScytheMarshall gonna take on some eggs. Oh, I'm gonna throw drain spears at the eggs. Interesting.
Yeah, that should do very nicely until you can just one-shot them with a hit.
Decided one egg was enough. Just make sure Cecil got quite a few more levels there, and we'll move on to the next objective. Defense sword sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it seems to be about all he has for him right now, though.
Looks like Arusta is going to try the vanilla Murasame altar again. Oh no.
He's
no,
going past that, yeah.
assuming he's gonna check out some other fights to to see if there are any cool key items down here. So we'll see if that play pays off.
Yeah, and it's very possible because, you know, we've come up dry on a lot of other chats. And yeah, Scythe, right now, feeling that gear crunch, pulling this trap chest, the warrior's chest, from the Fey March. It's honestly, this is kind of now where the trap chest and Evelyn are really kind of burning a hole in the back of my head. Because, you know, we can easily take them now, and frankly, we need a bit more than we have.
Yeah, I agree with that. We haven't seen an Excalibur or a Crystal Sword yet, or anything like that, but nice play over with the Warriors, getting an instant swoon and silence on that Warrior, thanks to, I believe that's an Assassin Dagger and a Mute Dagger, so, yep, swoon and silence twice in a row. I like this.
Yeah, just letting that Berserk Edge just plow through these guys who are nicely stopped.
And a decent amount of experience as well, 21,000. Not too bad at all.
But a cold apple is not what we wanted from that. Of course, with the Cecil, we can now quite easily take the Yang that's here.
Meanwhile, Arusta is going to take on the White Spear spot, and I mean, there still are several, or at least, no, there's still the King and Queen Evelyn out there, but Leviathan is the boss, and that's going to be a hard pass there.
Yeah, it looks like he's fishing for free.
It'd be real nice if there was a free fight here. And there it is!
There we go.
This is excellent.
Yes, and so we'll find out what's behind them quite shortly, but this will also be just like a straight 100,000 XP.
Yeah, that will result in numerous levels for Cecil. Scythe, as we projected, will be taking on Yang here. But first, Tella is going to be dismissed.
We're just gonna rotate around for Cecil, waiting for that second kick, and ouch.
Ouch. And I'll take 20,000. Well, I won't. ScytheMarshall will be taking 20,000 experience points. Oh, nice pickup.
Yeah, not a key item, but that will, that's basically what he's been looking for. Yeah, that power shirt is coming off, Edge, going on to Cecil, slap that Zeus gauntlet on also, give him all of the strength, and I missed what was in those ribbon room chests, completely.
Yeah, so did I. I was watching all the,
Tower Key and a Crystal Sword.
Wow, Crystal Sword, my goodness.
So both of our runners have just had all their hopes and dreams fulfilled.
Yeah, I'd give the advantage to Arusta on that exchange. Tower Key, now he's got 2 checks that he can look at in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and that will, yeah, he still leaves Lavelle, a bit problematic, but far less problematic than before. We're gonna make this quick check here down at the Masamune spot.
And it is now time for the elements fight. And I do not believe he saved here. And Rosa has been defeated. And this might spell trouble. He might have to do the Yang fight again.
Yeah, and Arusta is done with the non-objective moon checks. Done with the moon entirely for now.
Alright, gifts past phase 1. Now has to address Rubicante here.
Yeah, that's a little bit better to be fighting right now because Rubicante, of course, mostly just casts, and the magic power is much less than the physical power here. So, having gotten through this, that's fine. The Fire 3 still hurts, but not unmanageably.
Yeah, it does appear that he will have to address all 4 phases, so it's still going to be quite a challenge, and we'll see how this works out as we go along here. Arusta now competing against some eggs here.
Yeah, get some more levels that will fully get that Cecil online and just get the rest properly going. And oh no, Cecil is down. The leg was too strong, too beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, Rubicon is getting a lot of turns here, and yeah, and it's a slow, but I think this is going to be too late. Yeah, I think it's time for a reset. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, that is not great. And yeah, he's like, oh, crud, I did not save.
Yeah, but, you know, if he thought that he could take on Rubicante, then I really can't blame him for giving that a whirl. So,
yeah. But yeah, both of our runners kind of struggling a bit here, just trying to get a foothold against, you know, not a lot of good options to take.
Yeah, and I'm liking Arusta's plan right now to, you know, knock out a lot of eggs and get a lot of experience points and, you know, get back to the hang of things.
Yeah, just you know, eat some eggs and just brute force the rest of the seed.
Scythe once again defeats Yang.
That's his shiny, shiny sword. This time we're gonna save first.
Yep, Arusta continuing to grind on eggs here, and I mean, I think I've seen like 5 or 6 of these go down so far, which is 170,000 experience plus, and gonna go for more. I mean, that's a lot of experience.
Yeah, he might just be burning down his entire stock of sirens. These are going very quick now that Cecil's just going first and one-shotting these guys.
Yeah, I mean, now I would say he's definitely in position to defeat Vivalis for sure, and he's also got a tower key, so I imagine that's going to be his next destination. ScytheMarshall going to try the elements again.
Yeah, that looks to be the last siren. And yeah, going back to the tower to presumably get our revenge.
Ooh, 603 damage, but safe.
Hey, still has 41 hit points. That's still good.
Gonna do some spell rearrangement. Arusta is, and gonna get ready for the battles to come. I do like this idea for sure. Has gotten to the Kenazo phase, so we are in phase 3 of the elements fight, and the hits are coming in very quickly now. Tella has been defeated, which is perfect.
And
He doesn't
now
gain any further levels.
we're on Elements Val, who weak to everything. Because this particular fight is very weird about the flagging, because all the different elements are supposed to have different weaknesses, but this game is really weird about unsetting flags it sets. Oh, and that's required.
Wow, good idea to stay persistent and try to defeat that spot, and it paid off for sure. That is objective number 6, just about done here.
Yeah, I assume we're gonna go cash that out right now.
A reminder that both of our runners have a package, and they need to remember they do have to burn the Mist Village with that package.
ScytheMarshall robs the old man for a ninja star. Great find there.
All right, round 2 against Arusta.
I noticed too that in the Rubicante spot is a sparkle. I note too that objective number 2 is to launch the Falcon. We're gonna have to fight that boss.
And I bet everyone in chat probably is rooting for the Wyvern to beat that star there. So we'll see if they're correct about that. And took a look at that store there, and which has a lot of pretty good items, but not really what he was looking for. So we'll carry on from there. Yeah, now 3,500 damage from Cecil with that sword swing. So Vivalis is probably not going to be sticking around for much longer.
Yeah, that's much better than before. Meanwhile, Scythe is has not done that ribbon room, does not have the tower key, is gonna have to leave with only one check here.
Vivalis is defeated over on Arusta's side. Well played there.
And what do we get? Oh, that's the pan.
So we have a little bit of a chain going on right now. We're going to have part 3 of the chain.
We'll finally get to see if Fabul is completely haunted.
Exactly. Part 1 being the Queen and King of Eblin fight down at the Lunar Subterrane.
Yeah, and hello, because you don't need the tower key to get that pan, because we can just walk up here like Scythe is doing. And this tower is just full of fiends of the elements. There's some more leg for us to gaze upon.
I believe that is 3 fiend fights in the underground. Is that correct?
I believe so, and Mylon Zed is of course on the moon, chilling in Cape Bahamut, so he won't be underground.
Yeah, the first Mylon fight was over in Baron, and I remember because everybody was like, "Quake, quake, quake!"
Right, and as Neobari says, we do have Kainatsu in the first Baron fight. So if this were Fiend's percent, we'd be doing great, but it's not.
Well, maybe we can somehow change the rules. Is that what do you think, Neon? Is that a do you think we can pull that off?
Yeah, let me just reach out over the internet, and I will adjust the games that they're playing live.
Narabari, our restreamer, has just said no. So, which is fine. What I do want to do is we see a Baron key at the bottom of the tower. So
that is also required. That is an objective. Because we do need to just do Baron Castle.
And yeah, very, very good. So Arusta, I would say, now has a solid lead thanks to that trip to the moon and finding that free spot and taking that gamble to see that there was an easy boss down there, and this is definitely paying off here.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets that got a tower key and a crystal sword for his trouble, and it was not much trouble at all because that was so free.
Yeah, the only trouble was time, but time well spent. Drain Spear from four heroes running down the Sylph Cave, scooping up Yang and buffing him on the head with a pan. That didn't quite work out, but maybe Yang's wife will have a better item here.
Come on, there hasn't been a single key item in Fabul, otherwise in this seed. There has to be at least one, right? We're not gonna check that out yet. We're gonna do our objective.
All right, so it is now time for me to acknowledge our restreamer, Nairobari, helping us out here. So thank you very much for helping us throughout this tournament. We were talking in the green room, and Nairobari's been doing a lot of restreaming, so definitely give him a follow if you can, for sure. Also want to give a shout out to Dubword47 for tracking, doing an excellent job, and always want to recognize my co-commentator Neon Gray. Excellent person, and don't forget they've got a cool cat. Let me tell you,
I've got several cool cats, but I have one sitting here with me right now, and she's purring, and she's very good. And you know who else is very good? My co-commentator, Game Boy F9.
Well, thank you very much. But unfortunately, I don't have any cats right now, so I'm going to say Neon Gray wins right now.
I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to tear you down, but you're right, that is just science. There's a cat right here that's just automatically better.
All right, Arusta is going to take on Kainazo, as discussed in at the beginning of the game. We're turning in the pan for a Bahamut call. Oh no!
Fabul is haunted. Absolutely nothing good in Fabul. Oh. I tell a lie, the power shirt was good, but absolutely nothing you want.
And the King of Baron has become the King of Baron. It's the Odin fight, and that is definitely a good spot you want to find Odin, because Odin can be really mean if he's at the wrong spot, but not today. And Baron has been heretofore liberated, and Arusta's on the board objectives wise.
And that's a forum. I don't think we're gonna take her. ScytheMarshall now is lacking other things to do, so he too is going to take on the moon. Looks like he's going to go for that Mylon Z. Yes,
Yeah.
with Zebus.
Oh, is that that explains it all, right there. That right there, there's your evidence of why Baron Castle was taken over by Golbez. Right there.
Yeah, Zebus was right there. Oh, and a pass. Very nice.
Yeah, both of our runners will have to accomplish. We'll have to pick up that pass. So that will be the likely way that it will be that we'll be taking on Zeromus. But we'll get there in as soon as we complete all of our objectives, which we're probably going to start knocking out in a real hurry here. Ouch!
Yeah.
2,156 damage to Cecil. Yikes!
Yeah, this is, of course, an extremely high physical damage spot, and this boss does almost nothing but just hit you. It's nasty. Arusta's gonna check the Odin spot now.
Yeah, absolutely can't blame him. I mean, you should be in really good position to defeat this boss and pick up potentially a key item. We'll see how this goes in a minute. Meanwhile, Sky's doing a great job with those blinks and paying attention, making sure those blinks don't fade away, because if things don't quite work out. And I like this idea as well, bringing Cecil back to life and putting a blink on him. We've got to be really close to victory here.
Yeah, fortunately, this fight is fairly manageable speed-wise, and we're through.
Excellent work by ScytheMarshall. Let's see if this pays off. It's another Bahamut call. Wow.
So, that is the thing that you normally get from this spot when playing this game unrandomized.
Yeah, and as Chad has noted, that is the second time we have seen a vanilla reward, the other one being the rat tail at the bottom of the FF4FE. Arusta has defeated the first part of the Dr. Luge fight. Here comes the second.
Yes, it's the real fight.
You mean the first fight wasn't the real fight? Wow.
Yeah, apparently not. I mean, look at this guy now. This looks like a real fight. Like, he's all skeleton-y and gassy.
Oh, how did you know? I mean, I just saw the gas ability get called there.
Well, he does that. He does that if you hit him, and but only if he survives.
A Luca key. Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what he does with this Luca key.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Poison Walk.
We still have the hook outstanding. Arusta has not picked up the twin harp, which was found
from the Murasame altar objective.
At the vanilla Murasame altar, which is required, so he will have to go through there anyway. So, and we still have to find the earth crystal, so yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Popping into Kaibo, I think, just checking... What are we looking for in here? That's what we're looking for, a cursed ring.
Yeah, he may have found this very early in the game, and he was able to, he went back to to pick that up, so that's well played there.
Yeah, it is super handy to have one of those things on hand.
Yeah, absolutely. ScytheMarshall using a golden apple on Rosa to add 100 hit points permanently. And, well, he's going to go over to the King and Queen of Eblin.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a very nice surprise here.
But I have to imagine that Sky's probably asking, did Arusta come down here first? We're 77 minutes into this seed.
Yeah, like, this is a point in your race where it's really easy to get just really worried about what your opponent's been up to. Because, you know, both of our runners have, like, several objectives still need to be done. And, moreover, we don't even have them available to us. Like, we don't have an Earth Crystal, we don't have a hook. Those are the two big things that we need. ScytheMarshall, of course, does not have that Baron key yet. Gets his tower key and his crystal sword.
Yep, absolutely a good pickup there. I believe he's going to go into Fabul to turn in the pan over to Yang's wife, so
we're gonna get our big ol' nothing here.
We do have a question in chat. Did Arusta forget about the package? That is very possible, but I have to argue that ScytheMarshall also has not turned in the package. So we're gonna see if they just have them remembering the entire time, or if or if they actually did forget. We'll find out as we go along here.
Yeah, and Scythe here is higher level than Arusta was when he was on the moon, so we're actually going to take these fights that were just dipped out of as Arusta looked for free.
Yeah, and I mean, this looks to be a pretty... Well, let's see what the Ice 2 does. Well, the Ice 2 did some pretty serious damage for Ice 2. Wow.
Yeah.
And Cecil will be no longer participating in this fight.
He's fine. He'll be fine. What do we have here? Oh!
And just like that, ScytheMarshall is in the lead. Wow.
We've got that Earth Crystal. Very, very needed.
And no, we're still looking for a hook, but that could be found through the Earth Crystal. Now, Arusta can get back into this competition if the hook is at the bottom of the Seal Cave, and we're going to find that out within the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, if not, he's got to go back to the moon. I mean, he's got to go back to the moon anyway to deal with the Murasame Elder. But there's clearly more to be had than just the objective. There's other required key items up here.
Now, ScytheMarshall hasn't found the Baron or the Luca key yet, so I totally can understand why he's checking out the Masamune spot here.
Yeah, no. You absolutely have to at this point, I think.
And that is what we call evil.
Yeah, gonna be a bit tricky getting our party up and running, but once we're there, we'll be there, and should be able to just, beat this wall down.
Ooh, 5,000 damage, but she's got to get a blink up in a real hurry.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
All right, moment of truth. What does Arusta pick up here? A moon veil. Oh no. Yep, that's gonna be a reset.
Yeah, so I don't think he has. He's got FF4FE left to go, because he still does need that, that legend sword from there. So yeah, we're gonna knock these guys out.
Yeah, Neon, I think you are correct. This evil wall is gonna be going down here pretty shortly. I think we've dealt at least 30,000 damage already, so I think we're really, yeah, gone.
Yeah. So let's see what the wall has. Just a defense sword.
But again, totally can't blame Scythe for checking out this spot. So
Yeah,
and still, we're over 10 key items, so we've got double points. So 122,000 experience, really nice.
Yeah, because we still would like a couple more levels on that Cecil would be nice. And yeah, we're still just gonna take out the karate guy first, cause we just need to sit here for a little.
And Scythe will be advancing to the Wyvern spot. And for the third time this competition, the Yang says ouch.
We get our fancy darts.
Yeah, I definitely would say that in this situation because we now have the crystal sword in play.
Yes, both of our runners have a crystal sword on that Cecil, which of course is not terribly helpful against the Octomam. I mean, it still does damage. And to answer in chat about K Bahamut, Mylon Zed is there. He gives out the quite vanilla Bahamut.
And we have begun delivering damage to the Octomammoth, 5,000 so far, and we're slowing it down as we speak. We now have the elements fight over in Arusta's side. Got hit with a glare. Tella's defeated again.
Oh no, whatever are we gonna do if Tella doesn't survive?
We're gonna defeat Zeromus. I think we're fine.
Yeah, you're right. Octomam is now down.
And another 6-digit experience haul. Oh, the Artemis arrows. Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, don't hate that, but I do like, Archer Rosa. It does mean, though, that, yeah, we are going to want to... That Earth Crystal is going to... Yeah, I believe that does finally put us in no mode. Earth Crystal will give us Hook. And Rat Tail will be Sand Ruby.
Yep. Confirmed by a restreamer Nairobari. And yeah, I was gonna say that has to be the only way. That's the only way I can think of.
So the pass comes from Baron Castle. Looks like ScytheMarshall is finally going to go pick up that Rydia.
I can only think of one reason why. Agility Anchor.
Yeah, because he has been using that Tella throughout. Just get a fresh anchor.
Hi, Rydia. Thanks for joining our party. Please take 3,416 damage from one of your allies. Wow.
Arusta finally back on the moon. Just gotta sweep this clear.
Yeah, Darabari in chat is saying 28 out of 28, and I mean this with these flags, you are going to see a lot of these, mid to upper 20s out of 28, and pretty often, and definitely going to be the case today.
Yeah, just the way the key items have hurted us or not hurted us. There's really, you're just gonna end up doing everything on this particular seed. Sadly, it is rather a little late in the seed for a Scythe to peep the treasury. You want to see the treasury, but there's no good reason to at this point. We've got our swords.
Oh, we can still rate that treasury if you like. I mean, what do we want to score this? Not gonna look out of 10. Is that how we'll score that?
Yeah, I think that's how that goes. Arusta now gets through on that Mylon Zed, gets his Bahamut, and has to life Tella to get an exit. Yeah, there's 18 adamant armors just sitting in that treasury right now because we're not gonna check.
Except, is that even possible in with these flags? Because we're playing T Wildish with a tier 7 max, and Adamant is tier 8.
Yeah, but if we check anything, it's gonna change. But until we check, it's just gonna be 8 adamants or 18 adamants.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, it's in a state of the treasury in a state of quantum superposition. Yeah.
I'm convinced.
It's Edward! Yay!
Yeah, a little late for Edward, I think, even though we have the spoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I do like that palette for him, though.
All right, here comes our next competition as Arusta will be taking on the Bomb Bomb.
Yeah, should have absolutely no problem here at this point. That's Golbez. Hi, Golbez.
Hi there. Ha ha ha. How are you doing? I'm going to defeat one of your characters now. I don't know, how was that? Was that a good impersonation?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And my mom is going to be dismissed in short order over in Arusta's side, so...
Yeah, this is a question of if it even gets to go to the middle stage.
And the answer is, it does. And now my mom's defeated.
Yeah, and we're gonna get that dart there. Immediate one-shot before we even get him to do anything at all. Very nicely done from ScytheMarshall.
Gonna also do a little inventory management while Golbez is fading away, and...
Oh, Arusta, don't leave the moon yet. Don't leave them. Good, you're going back in. Good.
That's correct, because Arusta still has to go back down and take on Leviathan to win that Earth Crystal.
Yeah, though I think he also takes out the Masamune and the and the crystal sword altars as well, just because at this point, if you don't know, you have to. You just have to. His real hope here is if he can take out the white sphere altar first and gets that crystal and looks at the key item distribution and realizes that, you know, there has to be that he just has to follow through from there. But of course, without the adamant from the twin harp that he hasn't got yet, that does still it still leaves one more potential key item that he doesn't know where that is yet. So that too can be a problem for him.
Yes, absolutely.
But there is still time to make all of this up, because ScytheMarshall does not have that Baron key yet, because he has not yet returned to the Tower of Babil. I'm sure he's hoping to get it right here, but he will not.
Okay, Scythe is going to turn in the pink tail first to pick up the adamant armor. Now is going to turn in the rat tail to fulfill objective number 3. 3 objectives remain, and then he will be able to take on Zeromus or his substitute. We'll find out. We'll find out shortly.
Yeah. Leaving that hovercraft there, so we are going to do Tower Key next. We do still have to launch the Falcon, of course.
And Scythe is like, put that adamant armor on Cecil. So Cecil's going to become a real powerhouse with plus 15 all stats.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna flatten everything in his path now.
There's the Earth Crystal Arusta defeating Leviathan in short order.
But he's saving here, so he is gonna make the remaining checks.
And yeah, and again, that's understandable because, you know, he doesn't know that the FF4FE is required for. Was it the FF4FE?
No, it was the twin harp that he hasn't done yet, because he only just got that now from the Marasame altar.
Gotcha. But I mean, the anime could be right here, right? So
yeah,
I totally can understand why he's doing this.
Yeah, like they could be here as far as he knows, so he's just gotta do it. But fortunately, we've got enough levels bolted onto this team that even Evil Wall at Ogopogo is not gonna be that hard to deal with.
Alright, Scythe is gonna walk on down and pick up the Baron key, and then he'll be ready to complete the rest of the objectives, or more commonly known as Go Mode.
Yeah, because the Baron key is the last key item that is in ScytheMarshall's way right now. Arusta Cecil is cracked open the wine though, so I think that wall is going to have a bad time.
Well played there. The wall is defeated again.
It's that defense sword, which does him no good at all. Yeah, just resets. There's no point in walking that back.
Yeah, absolutely agreed there. And is it time for It looks like it's time to exit out, which is a good play in the end because the wiring spot doesn't have anything either.
Yeah, for Arusta, it's a gamble, but in this case, it is the correct gamble.
All right, so while we continue to work on the rest of these objectives, we will note that we have 2 other tiebreaker matches that are about 40 minutes in right now. Nitsi versus Zeke, that's happening over an RPG Limit Break. And John Burkhead and Mechalink, that's over in Free Enterprise 2. So you definitely can catch those. We'd love to have you stick around, and hopefully you can check those out when we're wrapped up here, or you can check them out anytime on because there's a VOD that will be available. We post them on YouTube all the time, so look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much Free Enterprise going on right now, and it's all, you know, people are really bringing their A game. It is amazing to watch. Everybody's so good now. And ScytheMarshall is through on Baron. On a note too, that both of our runners both still need to launch the Falcon, and they do still need to cash out that package.
Yeah, and it's going to be very understandable if they forget about this package, because they picked that package up like an hour ago, right? So
yeah, that was from Dwarf, which was, you know, one of the first checks that they could do after they swept the overworld, because they had nothing else yet. Scythe gets that pass, gets that Baron Castle.
And we're going to give everyone the opportunity to hear that really cool tune again. Well, I was a little bit surprised. That virus dealt only 1 damage.
Yeah, this spot does have extremely high magic defense, effectively immunity. If there's ads, like the extra guards there, they will generally be exempt from that. But the actual guard leader there does have the full benefits of the spot. So, magic, no good there. Yeah, that music was again Megalomania from Live Alive. Fantastic game. Got a remake coming out in a really cool high-def pixel style. Oh, that's CPU at the King Queen Eblan spot.
Yeah, and it was gone in one swing.
Now we do have a Sparkle here. We have actually not seen a lot in the way of lunar bosses, so while it can't be Ogopogo, and it could be Wyvern, it could be any of the others also, so...
Sky's taking a safety here and turning the metal speed down to 4, just in case. And it didn't quite work out, but I still think that was a great idea.
Yeah, definitely when you know that's potential Wyvern, that is absolutely huge. But just paled him. So the fight will be longer than we like, because we're just going to take a bunch of slow counters, but it's fine, we're not in the least bit of danger here.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, already Pale Dim's taken about 17,000 damage, and not going to be sticking around for very long. Oh, going to throw a defense sword to speed things up further.
Might as well. It's there. And Pale Dim's shadowy twin, the Dark Dragon, also going down on Arusta's side. And we're through on the Pale Dim.
Yeah, and also a nice healthy 50,000 experience. And objective 2 is complete.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to drop off this package on the way to Troya. Because, honestly, seems like, you know, I don't want ScytheMarshall or Arusta to be the people who are making my deliveries, because we've been waiting all this time for them to deliver this package, and they've just been doing everything but. It's like, you know, I'm gonna complain to their managers. Wait, are we their managers?
I'm happy to report that we are not. So we don't have to make any of those decisions. But
okay, good. Just as long as we're not responsible for this delayed delivery here.
ScytheMarshall does
duplicate
remember.
edge.
Well, that's interesting.
That would have been really interesting an hour ago.
Yeah, we'll be seeing some more duplicates when we start up the brackets in 2 weeks' time. So, because we won't be seeing Cecil or Fusoya, so they're out of pools, so...
Yeah, so that's just going to be 2 more duplicates at every seat. I'm going to pick up this cat while we watch the city burn.
Yep, we do have to go through the entire procedure here, so...
Yeah, well, only half of it. We do not actually need to go to Kaipo and pick the character up.
Yes, that is true.
And there's no real reason to.
Yep, our heroes took an average of What's 100? Under 50 hit points, and still a huge rock slide occurs.
They're very well armored. Arusta finally has that hook. Now has everything in hand. Just needs to go cash out that rat tail, cash out the package, and do the hook. Which means that something is gonna have to go terribly wrong for ScytheMarshall if Arusta wants to win this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, looks like we have to do our final business here because ScytheMarshall's entering the final battle. So, I guess I'll have to make a statement. The final boss will be, I'm going to say Zomomus. What's your prediction, Neon Gray?
I'm here to kill Chaos and Chaos accessories.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, because as Free Enterprise works, while we randomize every other boss location, we leave Zeromus where he is, but we do give him a cool costume in every seed, and that's what all these flags in chat are. So we need to ask the question. ScytheMarshall is resetting because he forgot to fix his battle speed. So for drama's sake, we're not going to ask that question just yet.
Yeah, the question is, what battle speed will ScytheMarshall use for this fight?
Looks to be battle speed 2, which is a perfectly good fight for Zeromus.
Lady at 19 in chat, is Z going to be a cat?
There's at least one house cat in the pool.
All right. So I guess it's now we can finally ask the question. Go for it, Dion.
Okay. We start the encounter here. We need to ask ourselves, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? And all of those other questions. Does it have a butt? How many butts does it have? Does the butt have a hat? Does the butt have legs? How are you doing tonight, butt? Yes, does the butt need a hug?
The only thing I'm going to say is grrg. Oh, look at that! It's a hippie from Earthbound.
Yeah, so it's got legs. It's got a butt. I think that's a hat. Seems to be wearing a hat.
I feel like the music should be replaced right now with do 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 do. You know that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we should be commenting more about this fight, but quite frankly, Scythe is doing an excellent job with this fight. Cecil's already berserked. I don't think we've seen a single shake yet, in already about... Oh no, we did see a shake, okay. So, but already 40,000 damage has been delivered out of 105,000, something like that, so... It's looking really good that ScytheMarshall will eliminate Arusta in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Cecil just hitting really hard, and breaking out the all of the really big weapons that we've been collecting all this seed. And with that white spear going out, we're done with throwing, just gonna berserk him up. And Arusta similarly just wipes the floor with that CPU.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna matter. This will be the last Big Bang we see in this particular seed. Well, at least on ScytheMarshall's side.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see another Big Bang. We are just cranking out the damage here.
Yeah, I think we're under like 20,000 hit points left. I haven't actually kept track. We're under 12,000 points left because there's a Meteo.
Yep, the victory fireworks, as I like to call them, coming out.
And we are done. Good game, ScytheMarshall. Your winner, and will advance to play the runner-up of the Kyrios Moonblade Wolf play-in that happened earlier this afternoon. Final time, 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 2 seconds as Pale Dim goes down on Arusta's side.
And I hear somebody joining us in chat. I believe that's going to be ScytheMarshall. GG.
Hello, GG. Thank you.
Quite a challenging seed.
It was a thing. I guess I don't know, my loot route paid off in the sense that I had a bunch of darts and nothing else. I eventually got edge. It was fine.
Yeah.
And like, when in doubt, you throw money at sirens and throw levels at your problems, right? That works, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much had to with this. Like, there was a whole lot of just like on both sides, a lot of just moments of, oh my god, where do I go next?
Yeah, I think so. In hindsight, I had early Quake because I did a siren with Paladin.
Yeah.
After getting Quake and then Edge, I probably should have just gone and done Dwarf Castle. Realistically, I should have just done Dwarf Castle. But, whatever. I got there eventually, and Cecil helped eventually. He certainly felt underleveled for a long time, but I guess I didn't dump the power shirt and headband on him until he got Crystal Sword. So that explains his damage output.
Yeah, and I mean, that was... It took a bit to get him up and running, because you just had the defense sword for him to start, and then you got the X-Scale, and then you got the Crystal Sword.
Yeah, slow and steady, right?
It won the race.
Slow and steady felt pretty accurate. The elements fight at Leviathan was a riot. I probably should have reset way earlier than I did, because I should have known, like, oh yeah, Rubicant Fate, like the Rubicant part's a mage. Edge one shots it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. But I didn't. Oh well.
Yeah, the other thing too is
snafu was that was uncalled for.
Yeah, but on the other hand too, it's like there was a Wyvern is still unaccounted for. That could have been Wyvern that had been at that hook.
I didn't feel bad about the Pale Dim fight. That was fine.
Yeah,
getting to change battle speed back up afterwards, that was not fine.
Yeah, but I feel like every runner with a bot that has arbitrary commands has a battle speed command. So you are not the first person to make that particular mistake.
I know. So where were Bacchus wines? Did I just miss them in a shop somewhere?
If they were for sale somewhere, they might have been at Emblem, but I don't think we saw them for sale at any shop that anybody went to.
Okay. I was going to take the hook and then said, if I'm gonna check for Bacchus wines. And then I just walked right past the shop. I just tunnel visioned, thinking about who my anchor was gonna be for the two fights. So, whatever. Yeah,
it's nice to have, but you know, you were able to get your berserks off. Of course, you did have to go through Twin Harp. There is wine down there with an edge.
And then I I could have gone and fought any of the Mad Ogre's chests. I still had sirens. I thought, I could siren for a centipede for silk webs. I could siren the ogres down in Cave Magnus for Bacchus wine. I didn't. That's something I always forget to do. It's kind of frustrating, but oh well.
Yeah, it's really easy to forget that because you're thinking about other things when you're down there. Usually, ugh, why did I have to come down here? Or, oh, that was a good song. Or, why does this never pay off? Or, why does this always pay off?
Or, where am I going? Thank God I have exit.
Yeah, all kinds of things that aren't, oh, there's wine down here.
Yeah, I've done that once sort of recently, but that was in a seed where I did the entire moon without it, or without a berserk caster. So I was a little bit more cognizant of it. This seed was a little bit more, Rosa cast Bursk, Edge cast Blink, Tella helps, I guess, and go from there.
Yeah.
Image, I guess. Edge doesn't cast Blink, he casts Image. Get the spell name right.
Yeah, because Blink can be cast on anybody. Image is just right.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever cast Image as much as I did in a tournament race this seed.
It was a lot, yeah. He gets it so late is the problem, I think.
Yeah, but the the 2 sirens I did for King Rio's right at the, I don't know, like that felt early. Like I did the Mura altar spot like my first time up on the moon because I said, I could probably at least see what it is. Maybe it's free. It wasn't really free, but Edge was beefy enough to get through it by himself, and I had 2 blink casters, so Mom Bomb was pretty easy.
Yeah, no, that was great. It would have been greater if you'd never had to come back to the moon, but it was great.
I was thinking it'd be so cool if I just never had to come back to the moon, and like I could have completely. Well, I guess if you full clear the blue planet, which I guess we ended up doing anyway, and then go to the moon with Mura altar, you're doing that altar first. So there's no like, if the rest of the moon was haunted, it's not really there isn't a pitfall that you can fall into there, or many rabbit holes to chase. You're gonna go do the altar. So
yeah.
At least it was required. Like harp was required, so that felt less bad.
Yes, yeah. And like that's really good when you do make that check after having to do such like loops. And just having it actually be something you did, in fact, need to do.
Okay, I guess one more question about the 2 of us. Did Arusta ever find a curse ring?
Yes, for sale in Kaipo.
Ugh. Why? That shop is so out of the way.
It is. But
I guess if you check Sand Ruby, it's not.
Yeah, but Sand Ruby was like the literal last key item, so I'm not.
Oh, yeah, was it? I thought I got that sort of early. It was Rat Tail turn in? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That was late.
Yeah, I am honestly not actually sure why he must have gone early to Kaipo and then come back for it.
That's fair. And like, if you're searching for a curse ring and you want one really badly, then you do your shopping.
Yeah. Though he is still anchoring off Tella, so... But Tella did get a fair few levels, so that probably...
My Tella had way too much speed. My Tella had like 12 agility while I was on the moon. I said, that's not good. Cecil's not fast enough. Cecil needs levels. I probably should have just done another set of King Ryus, but whatever.
You picked up a fresh Rydia.
Yeah, I saw Rydia. After I was stuck using Power Shirt Palom and a bow to take out Ogopogo, I said, maybe Heroine Rydia would have been a good choice. But she was good as an anchor. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't usually take a Rydia from Hobbs either, so it's like...
If I had found Bahamut or Leviathan, different story. This was not that story.
Leviathan was for sale from the Hummingways.
A little late.
It's true. It's true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was, I don't know, that was fun. I felt like, I think I have many places for improvement. So hopefully, when I play the loser of the earlier match today, then I will hopefully play a little bit better, sort of tighten up some of the loose ends. Thanks to Restream team. Good job, folks. You all did great. I'm sure you did. Nubari on Restream, Neon on Game Boy for comms, and Dubbird for doing the tracking. That's my favorite thing. So, anyways, I hope my naming scheme was obvious.
Well, I'm not sure. It was very confusing. I mean, all of these names from these obscure properties, it's like...
Yeah, really, right?
And that is a crack boom from Arusta. So GG there as well.
GG Arusta. I will step out and let Arusta do his interview, so take care, folks.
Take
GG
care.
again.
Congratulations. Good luck to you in the next round.
Yes, good luck. And that, I believe, is Arusta.
Good game, Arusta, and challenging seed, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was, I'm sure you saw, about an hour in, sort of running out of what do I do now? Because there was a couple tough bosses on the Earth, didn't really have the power to, felt like I had the power to push through either of them, and then it's when I started checking the moon and ended up knocking the seed wide open from there. But
Yeah, that was a great play. When you wound up all the way down at the bottom of the lunar subterranean and knocked out the king and queen of Lugae, that was a pretty good gamble, and it really paid off for you. I think one of the big differences is that ScytheMarshall early on knocked out 4 King Ryus, so for 180,000 experience, which is a lot, and that was a big grind that really got him going, and it just went from there.
Yeah, just give him a little bit more oomph than, yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking as well. Is I thought about that after I'd gone up to the moon. Was, man, I bought all these sirens earlier. I had a Palom who can basically walk through them, or I could have re-grabbed that Palom. It's like, well, I probably should have just used these sirens and powered up then. Would have made some of the earlier bosses quicker, and it would have given me a lot more confidence on the moon. I mean, finding that King Queen Evelyn was great, but it would have probably maybe let me knock through at least 1 or 2 more. But
Yeah, like if you'd been able to take out that Leviathan on the first trip, that would have been a huge difference for you there.
yeah, but overall, I mean, it was a tough seed, but I'm generally happy with how I played. Definitely happy with how the tournament went. I was signing up kind of expecting to go, to struggle a lot more than I did. And, I started off with a couple of tough losses against Blaze and Kyrios, who won the group, so there's no shame there. And then, went quote unquote 4-3 in my other games. So, yeah, I'm overall happy with how the tournament went. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. So, yeah, great play throughout.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more tournaments. I don't think this community's going anywhere, so plenty more chances to practice up and plenty of other events coming up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I definitely I've sort of floated around the community here and there, and participated in the first Pink Puff League back in whenever that was, sometime early to mid last year, I believe. And then things like that. But it's definitely fun being part of a tournament in free enterprise for the first time, and overall happy with how it went. So
yeah, I mean, you were one of 54 contestants to make it on to the tiebreakers and the play-in races. So definitely something to be proud of, for sure. And maybe there we can go from there, right?
Absolutely. I mean, do you have any other questions about the seed, or?
Yeah. What did you think when you saw that edge at the end of the seed? Would you have wound up taking 2 edges if you saw that like an hour earlier when you picked up the package the first time?
Maybe. The thing about the package check is that it's a big time commitment. So if I'd gotten it, I can't remember exactly how early I got the package. Like if that was my first edge, I probably would have taken it. Is my second edge? Probably not. Just because the package check, when you do it and then you go through the boss all the way in Kaipo, all that, ends up being a couple minutes. And, I figured even though I beat ScytheMarshall in our first matchup, it was super close. So that probably would have been a check where I would have been like, you know what? A second edge is always nice, but may or may not be worth the time, especially since, I'd already done ordeals at that point, if I remember right. So I was hoping to find, something good, find a Cecil or a Kane at some point. So.
Yeah, no, fair cut.
All right. Neon, you have any other questions?
No, I think we've pretty thoroughly been over it. GG again. You had a great run. And yeah, hope to see you, in the off season, the next event, all of that good stuff.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, and thank you very much, both of you, for commentating this race. Definitely look forward to watching it back, and thanks to the restreamer and the tracker as well for all their behind-the-scenes work.
Again, yeah, thanks to Nyobari for restreaming, and for restreaming so many races during the Adamant Cup. You're an absolute restreaming machine. And Dubward on tracking did a fantastic job throughout.
Absolutely, and Neon Gray doing awesome job in commentary. Been a pleasure working with you, and looking forward to working with you once again.
It's always a great time hanging out and talking over a seed with you. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it here. So it looks like we are going to be going to Free Enterprise 2, where they're currently going through the Artemis Bow tiebreaker. We've got John Burkhead versus Mechalink right now.
Yep, that's going to be an excellent race for sure. So we'll go ahead and send it on off. So for our runners, ScytheMarshall and Arusta, for Restreamer, Nairobari, for our tracker, Dubword 47, for my co-commentator, Neon Gray. This is me, Game Boy F9. You've been watching Free Enterprise. Please have a great rest of your evening.
And spoilers, get the bunk.